Well, Japan has aired the final episode of Dragon Ball Super and the Universal Survival Arc has ended. I have spent the last few days rewatching all of Dragon Ball Super in its entire run, jumping between sub and dub to gather my opinion on this Dragon Ball series. To be honest, it wasn't bad. It's had its mishaps. The first part of Super was plagued with bad animation due to key animators working on One Piece Film Gold. Although they were edited better for the Blu-ray release, the initial bad animation turned fans off of the series right away. And another bad part of Super was the use of recycled animation throughout the last part of the series. This little fight you're seeing of Goku and Jiren is one of the many recycled animations. But I wanted not to focus on the animation as a reason to not give it a shot, but instead go by the stories within the arcs, the universe it builds, and the characters in Super itself. So hi, I'm Kien, and I asked this question: Dragon Ball Super, should you give it a shot? But first, we have to go back in time. Back to 2012. In 2012, one of my good friends while I was in college sent me a link of this image. This was a promotional image of the new Dragon Ball movie Battle of the Gods. It was a big deal because for almost a decade, we haven't had a new Dragon Ball story. We've had the recreation of Kai and Dragon Ball Evolution. So it was nice to see Goku and the gang back at it again. It introduced us to Whis and Beerus, the god of destruction. It turned our hero into a god by giving Goku the Super Saiyan God transformation. It also introduced the thought of multiple universes existing in the world of Dragon Ball. But most importantly, it gave character development to Goku. The once immortal badass in the minds of children had to admit that he couldn't beat someone, that there was someone better than him that he couldn't win against. This will be important later on. Due to Battle of the Gods' success in both Japan and the West, we were given a sequel in 2015 known as Resurrection F. Here, Frieza is revived with the Dragon Balls and seeks revenge on Goku by training for months, still only thinking Goku could go Super Saiyan. Frieza gains a new transformation known as Golden Frieza. Little did he know, Goku and Vegeta have reached Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Which later on in the dub was turned into Super Saiyan Blue, which thank you, because that would have just been a tongue twister later. But this movie, in my opinion, was not as good as Battle of the Gods. The animation was awesome. And it linked Toriyama's work of Jakku, the Space Patrol, and Dragon Ball together. It gave everyone besides Yamcha a chance to be a badass, but the revenge story was subpar, and Vegeta gets his moment taken away by Goku in a lackluster way. I know what you're thinking. Kien, you're supposed to be talking about Dragon Ball Super, and what does this have to do with the series? I will get to that now. Due to the popularity of both movies, we got a new Dragon Ball series, which was Dragon Ball Super. Which brings me to the story of Dragon Ball Super. Was it good? Yes and no. Yes, because the original storylines such as Future Trunks and bits and pieces of Universe 6 and Universe Survival arcs were incredible. No, because the first two arcs were a rehash of two stories we have seen done way better in both Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. The initial teaser we got for Dragon Ball Super was an image of Beerus and Whis with Goku and Vegeta, plus a chubbier looking Beerus and a female looking Whis, making us wonder, what could that mean? Little did we know, it was Champa and Vadas from Universe 6, and we didn't get a chance to fully meet them until episode 28. And to be honest, I personally was turned off by the first two arcs of Super because of the rehash, except adding a few funny things here and there, Ginyu getting a new body and Frieza looking at Kid Trunks and trying to connect the dots, is humorous. It was lackluster and, like I said, poorly animated compared to its movie counterpart. But after that, we get past the rehash, we get original arcs of Universe 6, Black Goku arc, and the Universal Survival arc. So, these arcs are interesting in their own ways. The Universe 6 arc opens up the door a little bit to see what it is like in a new universe, putting the two universes against one another for the battle of Earth's greatest foods. That's right, the tournament is all about which universe will get the still intact, not destroyed Earth, so their god of destruction can eat their food. As the series progresses, the story opens up more of the world of the gods, introducing Kais and what they actually do. What happens when a Kai takes a twist on what they were asked to do, leading to the Goku Black arc. Trunks from the future comes to ask for help for a new enemy who has stolen Goku's body and is destroying his timeline. And the final arc is the Universal Survival arc. If the Universe 6 arc was just an appetizer of the multiverse, the Universal Survival arc is the Grand Buffet, opening up the floodgates. The arcs of Super have one flaw. They start out extremely interesting, but the one thing that seems to always hurt its storytelling is in fact the conclusion of the arcs. The most guilty of this is in fact the Goku Black arc. To be honest, the arc had such a strong start, Trunks heading to the past, seek help against a new enemy, and in the end, the worst conclusion, literally using a legitimate easy button to erase the problem. The Universal Survival arc, which everyone and their mother guessed the ending, which sucks, because the build-up to the arcs are interesting, such as the fight against Universe 6, Goku facing Kefla and Trunks learning a new form, but the payoff is again so lackluster. But with every negative I have with Dragon Ball Super, I always seem to have a positive as well. I think the one thing that interests me a lot, of course, is the universe and the world it grew within the world of Dragon Ball. The inclusion of the Gods of Destruction and the multiverse opens up a new lore within the world. Let's take Universe 6 for example. It's technically a mirror world of Universe 7, the universe that Goku lives in. And so the universe has Namekians and Saiyans, but they have a different upbringing. Saiyans in Universe 6 are actually peaceful, not war-hungry assholes that still live on planet Sidal because they didn't destroy it. But on the downside, they still work for a Frieza-like leader who ends up being a huge dick. The other universes have their own shtick that goes with them. Universe 2 is all about love, which correlates to them having magical girls. Yes, Universe 2 uses magical girls as fighters. Universe 3 uses mechas that transform, and Universe 11 is all about justice and Toppo doing dabs. To be honest, the thing that I love most about Dragon Ball is its heartfelt fillers. I know what you're thinking. Don't most fillers ruin a series? Most of the time, yes. But to be fair, my favorite episode of Dragon Ball Z is Goku and Piccolo learning how to drive, and that is filler as fuck. The reason why I love filler is because it gives character to the character. The filler episodes in Dragon Ball Super play more like a slice of life part, as the characters are hanging out in their downtime. Gohan being a new father raising Pan, Vegeta being goofy and actually being a human is actually super interesting to me. Dragon Ball Super also gives minor characters like Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi some well-needed character development. In the Universal Survival arc, Android 18 takes on Ribrienne because she knows the true meaning of love. And there's this scene that actually had me in tears when it comes to Roshi and his relationship with his students. But the character that gave an interesting comeback is Android 17. Not seeing him for years, they gave him an arc that I can respect. He's a wildlife ranger that is just there to raise his family. I'm trying not to spoil Super because I might actually want you to see it. I love the new characters they've introduced, such as Future Mai, the love interest for Trunk, Khalifa and Kale. I know people have complained about Khalifa and Kale being too overpowered, but it's nice to see female Saiyans kicking ass. Like, that's really cool. I love Toppo from Universe 11. I love his whole Super Sentai Captain Ginyu stick of justice and dabbing. And I love Kaba. I love Kaba because they tried to introduce Vegeta's brother Tarbal and it didn't work. Kaba is perfect for Vegeta as a character because now Vegeta has a student and has a reason to keep talking about Saiyan Pride because Saiyans still exist in another universe. There are some new characters I can't stand. I hate Zeno. I hate that they made the king of everything super childish and could snap his fingers and destroy the universe. My dislike for Jiren is that they tried to make this stoic combination of Batman and Superman and also make him extremely overpowered, such as Superman. And I don't like Zamasu just because he's just boring. But the worst character development comes from Goku. Remember when I said he loses and admits defeat to Beerus? This drive to get stronger puts his entire universe in danger. And he's also blatantly an idiot. There's a throwaway line, I shit you not. Goku says he's never kissed Chi-Chi. Blows my mind because he has 2 kids. But to wrap this all up, I don't think Dragon Ball Super is a perfect show. I don't think that it's a bad show either. Should you give it a shot? If you're a die-hard Dragon Ball fan, I recommend it. I mean, it's a new Dragon Ball story, and the second opening, Limit Breaker Cross Survivor, if that doesn't hype you up while you're running or lifting, you're a goddamn liar, and everyone knows that they're gonna love Limit Breaker Cross Survivor because it reminds you of Rock the Dragon. If you were a kid who never watched Dragon Ball but dig anime, this isn't the show for you. I'll be honest with you, you can't go into this like you did Z with not knowing the story. And if you're starting to watch anime, start with the original Dragon Ball and watch how a boy with a monkey tail ended up going toe-to-toe with gods. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be making more in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you find this interesting, and leave your comments down below. I love your feedback.